crafty friends, it's Rick. I'm back with another video for Pixi Dust Designs. Today we are going to be mix and matching dies, creating one card that's a simple layout that's easily recreatable, using a little ink blending to add a little detail and create a fun floral card design. We're going to be using the Ivy Leaves die set. I'm going to use the stitched tag here from the Fancy Lace pocket tag. I've picked a Misuse Sentiment from the Classic Sentiment set. I'm using the Elegant Lace cover die. I've cut two sets of this flower, from the mini flower die set, from just white cardstock, and I forgot to cut the center, so we'll do that. And then I'm going to use one of the butterflies from the Fancy Butterfly die set. All right, so one of the hardest things about mixing and matching dies is knowing what to put together. I started from the back and I worked my way up. So I started out, I'm going to use a pink card base, just top folding A2 card base. So then I cut the Lattice, the Elegant Lattice cover die from just plain white cardstock. That is going to be just as is. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that down. So I'm going to add liquid glue behind the edge of my Lattice die cut and little dots in that center of each of the pieces of Lattice. I've got my liquid glue onto my cover die, so I'm going to go ahead and line this up at the bottom. All right, so next, since I'm working back up, I've cut out my base layer using that stitch tag. So I want to add a little bit of ink blending to the edge of it. And I've also cut out my flowers. So I'm going to add ink blending to those as well. So I've cut these out of white cardstock. And while I was going to ink blend, I went ahead and cut out my base, the outline of my butterfly from that pink cardstock, white cardstock as well. But I'm just going to take a pink color. I want to add a little vignette shadow around that tag to make it look like a little vignette. That way it will help it stand out from our background. But I'm also going to add a little ink blending to my outline of my butterfly. The flowers, I'm going to go from the center out. So it looks like there may be a white at the very end. They're a variegated flower. All right, while I'm ink blending, I have a couple of leaves from the Ivy Leaves die set that we're going to put behind our flowers. So I want to add just a little bit of shading to our leaves. So I'm going to add just a little green ink to just the leaves part. Just to darken those up just a little so there's a little contrast. All right, before we assemble the rest of our card, we're going to go ahead and assemble the bits and pieces. So I've got my flowers. We're going to assemble these first. So I'm going to pick up each layer and I'm going to stack it, offsetting each layer of this flower. Do this one. I did go ahead and cut the center from just black cardstock. So we'll just add a little center right there. All right, now that I've got my flowers built, I'm going to go ahead and pop a little glue onto our leaf cluster, and I'm going to add each one of those. We're going to go ahead and layer our butterfly up. So I cut the background layer of my butterfly from the same pink cardstock that I used for the base and the stitch tag layer. That's just going to act as our focal panel. But that way, it keeps everything cohesive by using the same color palette. So it helps with using multiple dies. It keeps it looking cohesive. So I've got my outside, my little body of my little butterfly. So we'll layer that up together. And then I've got my sentiment. I'm going to go ahead and build this up as well. I'm going to start off with my little M for the Miss You. This is the largest little letter here. I've just cut it out of black and white cardstock. I've cut the shadow out of white and the sentiment out of black. So I've got my ISS. So I'm going to add that right there. And then I've got my last part of the sentiment. There's my sentiment. Now we can finish building up the rest of our card. All right, so as I was saying, we started from the back, working our way up so that we can make this look nice and cohesive. So I'm going to add foam tape behind my tag. I'm going to leave that right there because I'm going to treat this as one piece. I'm going to add a thin foam square to the back of our tag, or right there on the tag, so that I can pop this up a little bit. I just always find it easier if like when I'm working with Pixi Dust Dyes, because they all are from the same company. It makes it a little easier that they're all pretty much in the same style. So it makes it easier to mix and match things. And I'm going to just add a little dot of liquid glue down here. And I'm going to do that right in that corner. So am I missing you? We're going to attach that straight down in there. That way we can add our butterfly as well once we get our card, the rest of our card element put together. But I wanted to do this way so that it treats everything as one element. So I'll peel those backings off. I'm going to add a little liquid glue to my foam tape so that I can move this around. We'll straighten that up a little. And for my butterfly, I am going to pop it up just a little. All right, so I added foam squares behind part of my little butterfly. I'm going to add that on to my card front. All right, we're going to add our finishing touch. We're going to add a few little rhinestones sprinkled around our card. I'm going to add 3 right here. Add 3 right there. We're going to add those first, just to give it a little bit of sparkle. So add a large one and a medium. We'll add another medium here. And a smaller one. We'll add a medium one there. And we'll add another large one here. I'm going to add a couple right here as well. Medium one tucked under there. A small one. And another small one right close to our sentiment. All right, I'm going to add one more finishing touch. I'm going to add just a little highlight to my flowers with just a white gel pen and our little butterfly. So we're just going to add some right in there. I can add some to the leaves if I want to. And our little butterfly wings. All right, so here is a finished look at my card using multiple dies. I kept it clean and layered and still created a beautiful floral card just using the dies that I had from Pixi Dust Designs. Here's a closer look at the card. You can see all those layers and textures. If you need any of the supplies, I have them all linked and listed in the video description below. I'll see you in the next video right over there. Bye guys, stay crafty, love you.